Rain, cold, relentless. I remember standing outside my apartment building, drenched, fingers numb, watching the streetlights blur through sheets of water. My heart was pounding. Not from the run, not from the chill, but from the weight of what just happened. Liam, I shouted. But the wind stole my words. My voice bounced off the brick walls, swallowed by the storm. He didn't turn, he just walked away, fast, like he'd been rehearsing his escape for weeks. I grabbed at his sleeve. Wait, you promised. No answer, nothing, just rain on my face, soaking through my coat, dripping into my shoes. I sank to my knees, right there on the sidewalk, water pooling around me. I replayed it, every joke, every late-night conversation, every time he said, "Isep got you." Did he ever mean it? I could hear my own breath, shallow, sharp. My apartment was flooding upstairs. The ceiling leaked like the sky itself was punishing me. I thought I'd counted on someone. I thought I had Liam. I screamed his name again, but it sounded hollow, like I was calling from inside a coffin. Alex. The voice came from the echo in my head. My own. You knew this could happen. You trusted too easily. I shook my head. No, that wasn't it. It was him. He was supposed to be there. I remember the last text he sent. Don't worry, I'm here, liar. I pressed my face into my hands. My nails dug into my skin, leaving red streaks, burning. I could feel anger rising, hot, bitter, alive, but it was tangled with the cold, and the cold made everything worse. I hated him. I hated myself for expecting better. I could hear the rain tapping a rhythm on the pavement, each drop a drumbeat of judgment. This is your fault, it said. No, his fault, I whispered back. I pulled my soaked coat tighter, trying to hold myself together. You just leave? I shouted. After everything? Silence. I stood, shivering, and I saw the apartment window. My apartment, my life flooded, papers floating. Photos of us torn by water, memories I thought were safe, drifting like little boats about to sink. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't. Not yet. I remembered his laugh. That stupid, easy laugh. How I'd thought it was the soundtrack to my life. How I'd believed it. It was instead a soundtrack. It was a lie. I clenched my fists. Rain sluiced over my knuckles, soaking through my sleeves. I could feel the ache in my chest. Betrayal wasn't just a word anymore. It was physical. Heavy. Crushing. Why? I muttered. Not to him. Not to anyone. To the rain. To the night. To myself. The street was empty. Cold. Merciless. And yet, in that emptiness, a seed planted itself. I trusted him, and he had abandoned me. But the thing about betrayal? It's a spark, a fire waiting to ignite. And I could feel it, warm, dangerous, promising. I didn't move for a long time, just stood there, drenched, teeth chattering, heart still hammering, mind spinning. I let the rain wash over me. The night whispered its judgment, and for the first time I realized I wasn't just cold, I wasn't just wet. I was awake. And when Liam walked away, I promised myself this: he wouldn't get away with it. Not in my life. Not in my mind. Not in my world. The storm raged around me, and I let it, because storms change everything. And I was about to change too. The next few days were a blur. I didn't move much. Couch, cold food, endless rain tapping on the windows, mocking me. Alex? Are you eating? My mom's voice broke through the fog, tender, worried, but all I heard was my own failure reflected back. I'm fine, I mumbled. Didn't move, didn't look at her. The words tasted like lies even as I spoke them. She knelt beside me, hands hovering like she wanted to touch, but didn't stit. You stir shivering. Let me get you some dry clothes. I pulled the wet blanket tighter. I said I stepped him fine. Leave it. She lingered, eyes filled with fear I couldn't fix, fear I couldn't even comfort her out of. That's when it hit me. The helplessness. I wasn't just wet. I wasn't just abandoned. I was powerless. I could hear my own heartbeat, slow, hollow, and every time it thumped it echoed Liam's betrayal in my chest. A knock on the door. Hey, Alex? Sam, my neighbor, kind eyes. He'd always been there in small ways, never intrusive, just present. What do you want? My voice cracked. I brought some food. Thought maybe you have instead eaten. I stared at him. Cold noodles, half-eaten sandwich, simple gestures that felt alien. I wanted to push him away. I wanted to push everyone away. Thanks. I said it quietly, swallowing the lump in my throat. He came in anyway, sat on the arm of the couch, careful not to crowd me. You've been gone offline. I was worried. I laughed. Dry, bitter. Worried? About me? Or about how inconvenient it is if I disappear? His jaw tightened. About you. Always about you, Alex. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to reach out, but every time I thought about Liam, about trust, about promises broken under the rain, I couldn't, not yet. I can stet feel much right now, I admitted finally, my voice trembling, not from cold but from all the sorrow I stet swallowed. I feel hollow. Sam didn't speak, just nodded, sat with me, let me be hollow. And in that silence, I felt a tiny spark, not comfort, not warmth, not yet, but acknowledgement. Days passed like that, couch, cold food, rain outside, inside, my mom checking in, my neighbor checking in, the world moving on without me. And each time my phone buzzed, a reminder, messages from people I thought cared, people I thought would stand by me, but none of them did. Alex, you sirs strong, you sirs get through this. I scrolled past, their optimism felt like mockery, like they had no idea what it meant to be left shivering in the rain, alone, humiliated. I remembered Liam's face, smiling as he walked away. The disbelief I felt that night, the betrayal so sharp it felt like glass cutting my chest. I touched my chest now, numb bad, yet the sting lingered, every betrayal left a scar I could feel. You okay? Mom asked one evening, sitting beside me on the couch. I shook my head. No. I stepped not okay, I haven't stepped been okay since they left me. Her hand squeezed mine. You still be okay, I know you will. I pulled away gently. Don't stet lie to me. I need truth. I need to know it matters. That someone cares. She nodded, tears brimming. It matters to me always. You matter. I closed my eyes, sobbing quietly, numb, heart aching. And yet, beneath it all, a thought, small and fragile, began to bloom. I once stay powerless. Not again. Every humiliation, every moment of helplessness, every wet, shivering second under that storm, it was building something, something cold, something sharp, something I could use. I glanced at Sam, still sitting quietly, watching, not judging, not pushing, just present. And for a second I imagined the power of someone actually caring, someone actually noticing, and I felt a strange clarity. The seed was there, tiny, hidden under layers of heartbreak, but it was growing. And I made a silent promise. Not to him, not to my mom, not even to Sam. To me. They will pay. The ones who left me helpless in the rain, laughing in their escape, they will pay. I stayed there that night, listening to the rain pound against the windows. Numb, hollow, wounded, but alive. And the first flicker of determination sparked in the darkness. I clenched my fists, letting the wet blanket fall away. Let the chill bite. Let the hollow ache sink. Because the hollow could be dangerous. Because storms leave destruction behind. And I was ready to become one. Anger became my fuel. I woke up one morning, cold coffee in hand, staring at the rain-streaked window. Liam's face flashed in my mind, smiling, smug, walking away while I drowned. And something snapped. Not heartbreak. Rage. Pure, scorching rage. I whispered to myself, low and sharp, you stir going to pay. I started watching him, from the sidelines. Quietly, carefully, every post on social media, every public sighting, every mistake, every small triumph. He thought he was untouchable. He wasn't. I called Jenna. She owed me a favor from last year, a tiny one I'd helped her with. But favors linger. Jenna? I said, voice low, urgent. I need information. On Liam. Everything you can get. Whoa, Alex, slow down. What kind of information? The kind that matters, I said, my tone sharp enough to slice, where he goes, what he does, how he spends, who he trusts. There was a pause, then you. You stir serious, aren't you? Deadly serious. She exhaled. All right, I'll start digging. But, be careful, you were already walking on fire. I smiled. Cold. Hard. Fire was exactly what I wanted. Over the next few days, everything I learned became ammunition. Liam was moving into a new apartment, a fancy place. Big windows, expensive furniture, a life built on appearances. I leaned back in my chair, notebook open, scribbling, every delivery schedule, every cleaning service, every casual routine he followed. Why are you doing this? Jenna asked one evening over coffee, tension thick between us. Because he left me. Because he didn't set care. Because I trusted him. And he destroyed that trust. She nodded slowly. I get it, but this is cold, Alex. Are you sure? I'm sure, I said, voice steady, eyes burning. Cold is necessary. He needs to feel the helplessness I felt, the humiliation. He needs to taste the rain I drowned in. I rehearsed it in my head. Words, movements, timing, every step, every pause, every breath. You're terrifying, Jenna said softly, shaking her head. Good, I replied. He should be terrified. He should feel the same fear I felt that night. I watched Liam online, noting the smallest details. He liked to post at 9 a.m. always. Coffee from the same shop. Calls a cleaning service every Thursday. Patterns. Predictable. Perfectly exploitable. I made my plans precise. Not impulsive. Not messy. Calculated. I don't want him to know it spins me. At first, I told Jenna. He shouldn't see it coming. I want him to feel exposed, powerless, just like I was. She frowned. And then I said, clenching my fists, he realizes the storm was never the weather. It was me. I laughed quietly, bitterly. The sound made my chest ache in a satisfying way. Rage had a weight, and I was lifting it, shaping it, wielding it. At work, I kept it together. Calm, focused, every conversation with Liam carefully measured, every smile, every casual greeting, studied and filed away. One day he came up to me, grinning like nothing had happened. Alex, hey, how's it going? You've been distant. I smiled faintly. Icy, busy, life's complicated. He laughed, unaware. Tell me about it. New apartment, new job, things are moving fast. Moving fast, I echoed softly, almost a whisper. I hope you like change. He tilted his head, confused. I let it hang there, that tiny pause. He didn't even know why it felt off. That's all it took, just a hint, just enough. At night I sat in my dark apartment, tracing my plan. I imagined him in that new space. Alone, vulnerable, confused. I wanted him to feel that tiny panic I'd felt when he left me, shivering in the rain. Jenna checked in with updates. He changed his bank. Different card, new routines. But he still texts the old number sometimes. Good, I said. We can use that. Perfect. Every detail became a thread I could pull. Every routine a lever I could push. I started rehearsing in front of the mirror. Words, smiles, movements. Each one precise. Each one designed to cut. To humiliate. To wake him to what he had done. You're really committed, Jenna said over the phone one night. This is instead just revenge. This is art. I didn't answer. I just traced my reflection with my fingers. I could see it in my eyes. The storm, the fury. The calm before the destruction. I whispered to myself, low and deadly, you left me helpless in the rain. Now you'll understand what it means. The seed of determination had grown into a wildfire. It wasn't a fantasy anymore, not an idea, not a threat. It was inevitable. And I was ready. Because revenge isn't just about confrontation, it's about orchestration, precision, timing, and tonight, I had everything I needed. Everything. I rented the building across from Liam's new place. No flashy signs. No trace of me, just a shell company, a fake name, papers stacked neatly on my desk, invisible, ghosted into plain sight. Alex, Sam said one evening, leaning against the doorway of my office. You really did it. You actually rented the whole building. Quiet, Sam, I whispered, eyes scanning the street below. No one can know it except me. Not yet. He nodded slowly. Right, makes sense. You subter, I don't know. Methodical. I smiled faintly. Cold, careful, precise. It stuff's not about being flashy, it stuff's about leverage. Every day became a chess game. Each interaction, a move, every detail he revealed, voluntarily or not, was another piece I could manipulate. I watched Liam leave for work, coffee in hand, tie crooked, phone pressed to his ear. Notice anything? Sam asked, pointing subtly from across the street. He seems predictable, I said, voice low. Every Thursday he orders lunch from the same place. Every Tuesday he leaves his door unlocked for 5 minutes. He trusts routine more than people. Sam raised an eyebrow. Trusts routine, and not people, huh? Exactly. I tapped the edge of my notebook. Routine is weakness, and weakness I can exploit. I smiled at the memory of rain hitting me that night. He left. I shivered once. Not from cold this time, but from the memory, that helplessness. It was fuel now. Fire. Rage refined into clarity. Alex. Sam hesitated. You such or not. I mean, you such her calm in public, laughing with everyone, and yet you such her doing all this. I leaned back, fingers steepled. Calm is a mask. People underestimate calm. People ignore calm, and that sips how traps are set. During lunch breaks, Sam brought me small intel. He seps is hiring someone new, doesn't know much about the building yet. He talks too freely when he seps comfortable. I nodded. Perfect. Comfort is vulnerability. That seps what I need. At work, I smiled. I laughed. I joked. Colleagues noticed. They didn't suspect the storm gathering behind my eyes. One day Liam came by my desk, grinning, oblivious. Alex, you sut quiet today. Working too hard? I smiled thinly. Just focused. You know how it is. He laughed, leaning casually against my desk. Yeah, life seps moving fast, huh? New place, new job. Everything seps changing. Changing, I echoed softly. Sometimes people don't sit like change. They avoid it, even when it sits necessary. He tilted his head, puzzled. Huh? Nothing. Just thoughts. I let the words hang, a shadow he couldn't see but could feel. Evenings were mine. I went over plans, rehearsing each move, each pause, each word, maps, schedules, security systems, every detail filed, annotated, memorized. You said you're obsessed, Sam said one night, glancing over my shoulder. It's steps, intense. I sump precise, I corrected. Not obsessed, precision is everything. Revenge isn't just about emotion, it's just about timing, leverage, control. Control is the opposite of what he left me with that night. Helpless. Sam nodded, unsettled. And the rain? I smiled faintly, teeth clenched. The rain remembers, it will witness everything. I watched him from the windows, seeing patterns he didn't notice. His morning jog, his grocery stops, how he paused at the corner cafe to chat with a friend. Everything mundane became a potential point of leverage. One afternoon, Sam returned from a casual chat in the building lobby. He hates confrontation, Sam whispered. Even minor things upset him. He sups polite, but perfect, I murmured. Politeness is a cage, I just need the right key. I practice patience, smiling at colleagues, pretending normalcy, while secretly layering my trap. Every laugh, every casual word, every gesture was a calculated mask. You look different, Sam said one night, as we left the building, calmer, stronger. You start not afraid anymore. I shook my head slowly. I said not afraid. Fear is only dangerous when you don't strength control it. Now it seps fuel, and when the storm comes, he said they'll know exactly what it feels like to be powerless. The same rain that abandoned me would now mark his unraveling. I could picture it, drops sliding down windows as he pounded his fists, helpless, panic twisting his chest. Humiliation settling in. I clenched my fists, not from anger this time, from control, power. Every step of the plan was crystallizing. Tomorrow, we test the first move, I told Sam. He hesitated. Alex, you such were ready. I nodded, jaw tight. I septum ready. He left me in the rain. Now it seps my turn to watch him drown. And in that moment, I realized something I hadn't before. The helplessness that had once crushed me had transformed into strategy, into dominance, into revenge. I smiled, cold and precise. The storm was coming, and I was no longer the one cowering. I was the one who would orchestrate it. And Liam. Liam would finally understand the weight of being abandoned. The first stage of revenge began quietly. I became the landlord of Liam's new apartment complex, legally anonymously. Paperwork signed, shell company in place, every I dotted, every T crossed. He had no idea, and that was the point. I watched him from my office across the street, a mug of black coffee warming my hands. Look at him, I muttered under my breath, thinking he seems untouchable. Sam leaned in through the window, voice low. He really has no idea, huh? No idea, I said, a smile curling the edges of my lips. Every notice, every late fee, every small inconvenience, it all starts tonight. The first call came within hours. Maintenance issues, a leaky faucet in the kitchen, a clogged sink, the kind of trivial things people ignore until they can't. Alex, it's just plumbing, Sam said, a little uneasy. You stir being meticulous. Good, I said. Meticulous is satisfaction. Meticulous is watching him stumble. Every slip tiny, silent is a storm. I didn't call him. I didn't confront him. I let the chaos grow on its own. Notices went to his mailbox, legal letters stacked neatly. I watched him flinch each time his phone rang, each time a message appeared. Payment overdue, schedule maintenance immediately. I imagined him pacing, muttering curses, checking locks, doors, keys, helplessness mirrored in his eyes. The same panic I'd felt that night he left me in the rain. I whispered, almost reverently, taste it, just a drop, just enough. He called the management office, left messages, questions unanswered, emails ignored, and I smiled at the irony. Alex, you're smiling like a storm, Sam said, leaning on the window ledge. I laughed softly, bitter. I am the storm, and storms don't warn you before they hit. Evenings became rituals. I went over his activity logs, cross-checking complaints, payments, and daily schedules. Each misstep recorded, each reaction noted. Notice how tense he is, Sam asked one night. Every movement, like he seps walking on a wire. Good, I replied, watching his silhouette through the window. Tension is delicious when it sets silent. Invisible, waiting, like clouds before a tempest. One morning he slammed the elevator button repeatedly, muttering curses I could almost hear from across the street. I'll get it fixed today, I murmured, voice tight with restrained satisfaction, but not yet. I let the suspense build, letters left unread, notices stacked, late fees piling. Each misstep of his, a forgotten form, a missed call, a mismanaged payment, fed a small wicked satisfaction in my chest. He called neighbors, asked questions, doubts crept into his eyes. I recognized the panic, the humiliation, that hollow feeling. And yet, a whisper of doubt crept into me too. Am I crossing a line? I muttered while reviewing the logs. Am I becoming the person who left me in the storm? Sam looked uneasy. Alex, you are careful, but... No, I said firmly, gripping the edge of my desk. I once lose myself. Not yet. Not to him. Every move is calculated, every drop measured. The storm doesn't consume me. It fuels me. I imagined Liam opening his mailbox that day. Letters stacked high. Notices with small legal threats. A maintenance schedule he couldn't keep up with. I could almost see him trying to smile, failing, realizing control was slipping. He called me once, accidentally. I didn't answer. I let it ring. Let him leave a message. Silence amplified panic like thunder rolling over rooftops. Each time he faltered, my chest tightened with a strange satisfaction, but there was also a mirror I couldn't ignore. The same helplessness that had once crushed me now coursed through him, and I had to stay careful, or it would crush me too. Alex? Sam said softly one night. You walking a fine line. Don't let this storm change you. I exhaled slowly, leaning back. I one that's the difference. He flailing in the rain. I am above it, calm, observing, controlling. Every drop is mine to guide. He flinched when a notice arrived that his rent was late. I could see the tension in his jaw, the tightness of his hands. My pulse quickened, not with fear, but with purpose. the same way I had waited in the rain that night, heart pounding, soaked to the bone. Now I waited in my office, watching him flounder, helpless, and every misstep echoed in my chest like a drumbeat of justice. I stum not cruel, I whispered to myself, tracing the outline of my plan. I stum precise. I stum careful. He will feel the storm, but I will not drown in it. And the first drop of karma had fallen. I smiled, cold, satisfied, quietly, patiently, watching the tension coil around him like lightning before the strike. The storm was rising, and Liam had no idea it was coming. I watched him carefully. The cracks were starting to show. Liam, perfect smile, confident posture, everything in place, or so he thought. I could see it in the little things, the way he snapped at the maintenance crew. Can't anyone do this right? His voice tight, brittle, like glass ready to shatter. You're losing it, Sam muttered one evening as he peeked from the doorway of my office. Good, I whispered. Exactly where I want him. Jenna played her part flawlessly. Every casual conversation with Liam, every small confided frustration, she fed me updates. He seems paranoid, she said one day. Voice low, asks the same questions over and over, complains about notices he didn't get. I smiled. The paranoia was delicious. I could almost taste it, the same fear I'd felt the night he left me in the rain. Alex, Jenna added hesitantly. He seps talking about you. He thinks someone seps watching. Someone seps setting him up. Let him think that, I said, teeth clenched. Let him feel it. He seps blind to reality. But the storm will reveal it. At home, my mother noticed the change in me. She hesitated one night, watching me stare out the window, expression calm, unreadable. You are different, she said softly. So quiet, so distant. I don't know if I like this calm. I smiled faintly, almost kindly. I stepped focused, Mom, that steps all. Her eyes lingered on me, worried, focused, or detached. I shook my head, dismissing it. It's set strategy, Dawn set worry, everything sets under control. And it was. Every letter, every notice, every mismanaged bill, it all worked together like gears turning. Each slip Liam made added another thread to the web I'd spun. One day, I watched him storm out of the building, muttering curses, fists clenched. He had yelled at a maintenance worker again. Small bills unpaid, phone calls ignored, notices unacknowledged. I can believe this, he told Jenna one afternoon, voice low, tense. I feel like someone spits messing with me. Everything spits falling apart, and I don't know why. Jenna nodded. Calm, casual. It steps frustrating. Yeah, but maybe you just need to slow down, check everything carefully. Dawn stepped panic. I listened from across the street, notebook in hand, every confession, every misstep, a seed planted. I couldn't stop the memories from surfacing. Rain pouring on me, my teeth chattering. That night he left, heart pounding, shivering, the betrayal, his lies, every argument we'd had, every promise broken. It all came rushing back. I whispered under my breath, bitter and cold. You subtle remember it now, Liam. You subtle know what it feels like to be powerless. Jenna reported back that he had started confiding more, paranoid, worried. I don't trust anyone, he said one evening. I feel like someone seps watching, like I can do anything right. I traced the notebook page with my finger. That voice, the tremor in his words, it was almost musical to me, almost poetic. My mother asked me one night, hesitant, Alex, are you angry all the time? Is this revenge? I sat unfocused, I said firmly, brushing past her question. Anger isn't what drives me. Precision is, control, observation, strategy. Even still, I felt the whisper of doubt. Could I push him to his knees without letting the same darkness consume me? But every day, every slip, every muttered curse he cast at his own apartment, or the bills he mismanaged, it strengthened my resolve. The storm inside me was steady now, controlled, calm, deadly. Alex? He seeps unraveling, Sam said one night, voice almost awed. And you are silent, like a shadow over him. Exactly, I whispered. The mask of control he wore so confidently is crumbling. Every frown, every tremor, every slip, it steps revealing him, weakness, vulnerability, panic. Its steps beautiful. I remembered his laugh, how I had believed it, how it had become a soundtrack to my pain, how hollow it sounded now in memory. The difference now, I wasn't hollow. I wasn't helpless. I was calm, observing, waiting, strategizing. Jenna smiled faintly when she reported another small slip. He forgot to pay the water bill again. Apartment flooded. He steps panicking. I closed my eyes, breathed slowly, satisfaction. Not cruelty. Not exactly, just the justice of seeing the storm reflected back at him. I whispered, almost to myself, taste it, Liam, just a drop, feel the panic, the helplessness, the humiliation, the way I did. Every interaction became another thread. Every secret revealed by his own tongue, another lever. Financial missteps, old betrayals, weaknesses he'd hidden, all exposed by the tension mounting inside him. And me? I remained calm, detached. My mother noticed, even she, usually sharp, felt it. The stillness, the quiet, the patience. The storm was rising and Liam didn't see it yet. Not fully, but I did. I traced the outline of my plan one last time that night. Notebook open, pen in hand, every step deliberate, every move silent, every drop of karma ready to fall. The mask he wore, crumbling, the facade fading, and I, standing in the calm before the storm, ready to guide it. The rain started slowly. Cold, relentless, drumming against my coat. Every drop a memory, every drop a reminder. I stood outside Liam's building, watching him through the glass doors. He didn't see me yet. Not fully. Not yet. Alex, why are we out here? Sam's voice came through my earpiece. Low. Patience, I whispered. Let him feel the storm. Let him remember. The night he left me, I'd shivered in the rain, teeth chattering, soaked to the bone, helpless, abandoned, humiliated. Tonight, the rain belonged to me. I stepped forward, boots splashing in puddles. The doors swung open and he saw me. Alex. His voice cracked, disbelief in every syllable. I smiled faintly, letting the rain plaster my hair to my forehead. Hi, Liam. Remember this? He blinked. What are you? Shush, I said, raising a finger. Let me finish. He backed up, confusion twisting his face. I don't set understand. You play shin. Yes, I said, voice steady, cold. I have been everything you feared. Every notice, every late fee, every surprise inspection, every maintenance call, all me. His eyes widened, his lips moved, but no words came. You think your life sep's been chaotic? I asked softly, letting the rain drip down my sleeves. You should have felt what I felt that night. Alone, abandoned, frozen. He swallowed hard. Alex. This isn't set fair. I didn't set. Didn't set what? I interrupted, stepping closer, letting the water soak me. Didn't Stet leave me? Didn't Stet betray me? Didn't Stet vanish when I needed you most? His jaw tightened, eyes darting, searching, trying to find an escape. Every misstep you made, every moment of panic you felt, I orchestrated it, every single one. Why? Why? His voice broke, shaky. Because, I said, voice rising above the storm, I wanted you to understand, to feel helpless, to know what it seems like to be abandoned in the rain. The night you left me, I never forgot. I never will, but tonight, the storm belongs to me. He staggered back, hands trembling. Alex, you can step. I can, I said, cutting him off. I can, and I did. The rain soaked us both, but I didn't shiver. I stood firm, unbroken, watching him crumble. Every notice you ignored, mine. Every unexpected fee, mine. Every maintenance call, mine. Every moment of your paranoia, your panic, all me. He sank to the steps, rain running down his face like a mirror of that night. You see, I said softly, almost gently, the power you thought you had, the control you flaunted. It was an illusion. Now it sups, mine, all of it. He looked up at me, eyes wide, vulnerable. What do you want? I smiled, letting the silence stretch. I want nothing, I said. You still learn. Slowly every day. The storm you left me in, now it steps your reality. Every day you still depend on me. For stability. For shelter. For order. And every step of the way you still remember this rain. He pressed his hands to his face, groaning softly. Alex, please. No, I said firmly. No, please. No excuses. You vanished when I needed you. You left me powerless. Now, you understand. The symmetry, it felt like justice. Poetry. The betrayal reversed itself. Every frown, every tremor, every shiver that night had found its echo in him. I reached into my pocket, handed him a key, cold metal, heavy with implication. Welcome to your reality, Liam. Every choice now, every step under my watch. He stared at it, disbelief etched into every line of his face. Alex, this. Exactly, I said, voice low, deadly calm. You still learn to respect it, to survive it, to depend on me. The rain beat down harder, soaking us both. Thunder rumbled faintly, echoing the rhythm of my heartbeat. Vindication, satisfaction, catharsis. You really did all this, he whispered finally, voice hollow. All of it. Yes, I said. And now you understand. The helplessness, the fear, the abandonment. Every drop of your panic, reflected. He sank further, shaking, unable to speak, and I felt it. The release. The storm inside me finally settling, leaving only calm, control, dominance. The calculated power I'd fought to reclaim. Remember this night, I said softly, voice nearly drowned by the rain. Remember the storm you abandoned me in. And no, I said, I'm not the one left in it anymore. He didn't answer, couldn't. The surrender was absolute. I stepped back, letting him collapse fully under the weight of his own realization, watching the rain pour, watching him finally understand. The storm had cleared. And I had won. Justice, silent and precise. The betrayal reversed, poetic, perfect. I turned, letting the rain hit my back, calm, unbroken, dominant, calculated. The rainfall washed away the last remnants of fear, leaving only triumph. And Liam depended on me now, every day, every choice, every moment. The storm was mine. The rain fell lightly that morning. Not violent, not punishing, gentle, cleansing, a reminder that storms pass. I stood by the window, mug of coffee in hand, listening to the soft rhythm. Sam was in the kitchen, humming quietly, the clink of dishes punctuating the silence. You've changed, Alex, he said softly, coming up beside me. Not just powerful, different. I didn't turn. I've learned a lot, I admitted, about people, about trust, about myself. He leaned on the counter, and Liam. I smiled faintly. He steps where he belongs. Understanding now, dependence, humility, justice served quietly, carefully. No theatrics. He will remember the storm and the lesson, but it's over, for both of us. Quiet satisfaction, Sam said. Better than rage, huh? Much better, I murmured. Rage burns you. Satisfaction, it steadies you. It teaches you control. My mother entered, bringing a tray of tea. Alex, you such calm, I didn't expect it. After everything, I thought you said to be bitter. I shook my head, smiling softly. I was bitter, but it didn't wedge. I realized revenge isn't cruelty. It's reclaiming what was stolen. My dignity, my life, my power. She sat across from me, studying me, and, do you feel free? I do, I said, voice low, certain, free to rebuild, free to choose who I let close, free to protect myself without fear. Sam raised an eyebrow. Sounds like a lesson learned. I laughed softly. It steps more than a lesson, it steps a transformation. I know now who matters and who doesn't. Liam mattered once. He betrayed me. I reclaimed the balance. Sam, you mattered. Loyalty like yours, rare, and my mother always mattered. You've kept your boundaries, she said, smiling faintly. That's wise and healthy. I nodded, letting the warmth of the moment sink in. I rebuilt my home, reconnected with people who care, removed those who only take. It steps not revenge anymore. It steps life, living fully, carefully, intentionally. The rain picked up slightly, a gentle patter against the windows. I watched it, tracing droplets as they ran down the glass. Once it was fear, abandonment. now cleansing, renewal. Funny, I said almost to myself. The same rain that broke me once, now reminds me I survived it. Stronger, smarter, still human but wiser. Sam poured himself a cup of coffee and sat beside me. So, Yusef won, inside as well as out. I looked at him, eyes calm, steady. I have. Revenge isn't set about making someone suffer. It's set about reclaiming what you lost, your power, your dignity, your self-respect. Liam learned his lesson. I reclaimed my life. You such, unshakable now, Sam said quietly. But not cold, not cruel, that's such, rare. I smiled, letting a pause linger. I stumped human. I stumped flawed, but I stumped human no longer helpless. That night in the rain tried to define me. It almost did. But now, I define myself. Every choice, every boundary, every relationship is mine, carefully curated, carefully protected. My mother reached over, brushing my hand lightly. Yusef healed Alex, not just from him, from everything. Yes, I said softly. Healing isn't step forgetting. It's steps understanding, accepting, and moving forward, with vigilance, with wisdom, and with quiet strength. Sam raised his mug. To quiet victories, then, and storms that cleanse instead of destroy. I clinked my mug against his. To surviving storms, and rising from them stronger. The rain continued its gentle rhythm, a soft percussion against the glass. I watched it, letting it remind me that life is cyclical. Storms come, storms pass, and in the calm afterward, you choose what to keep, what to release, and who you allow near your heart. I leaned back, exhaling, letting the weight of the past finally rest, the fear, the helplessness, the betrayal, all dissolved into the present. I had won, not just the battle with Liam, not just the battle with circumstance, I had won the quiet internal war, the one that mattered most. The storm had cleared, and I finally was whole. The past never really leaves you. Even after Liam surrendered, even after the rain washed away the storm, shadows lingered. I watched him carefully, every glance, every subtle tone, every hesitant movement, testing, probing, trying to reclaim something he'd lost. "You cert different," he muttered, one afternoon, voice tight. "I don't know, I feel out of place here." I sipped my coffee slowly, eyes on him, calm. "That sep's because you are. You sep's been humbled. Adjusting isn't sept easy." He hesitated, studying me. I just want to make things right." "Actions, not words," I said softly. "Actions speak louder than apologies. Yusef learned that the hard way." From the doorway, Jenna leaned casually, watching him. "He's trying," she said quietly to me. I nodded, barely blinking. Trying isn't set enough. Awareness, responsibility, that's what counts. Everything else is noise. Liam swallowed hard. "I do try harder. I still be better." I let the silence stretch. Every word from him now carried weight, every confession, every slip, a subtle acknowledgement of his place. "You stir learning," I said finally. "And that sep's enough for now." He exhaled, almost a whisper. "I don't want to disappoint you again." "You already have," I said calmly. "But now the difference is you understand. You can manipulate, lie or disappear anymore, not with me watching." Jenna smiled faintly. I never realized how satisfying quiet power could be. No drama, no public spectacle. Just observation and patience. I nodded, tracing a cup rim with my finger. "Exactly. Humiliation is necessary. Control doesn't require shouting. It's subtle, measured, silent. Every mistake he makes, every attempt to overstep, it tells me more than words ever could." Liam shuffled, trying to speak, hesitating. "Hey, I sometimes feel trapped. But I know it's fair. You earned this." I let a thin smile slip, not triumphant, not cruel, just satisfaction. "Earned, yes. And maintained, carefully. Every choice I make reinforces it. Every line he tests, every boundary he probes, reinforces mine." Jenna whispered, almost to herself. "Yusef changed the game, completely." I glanced at her. Power is not about spectacle. It's steps about leverage, patience, watching, knowing the other person will reveal themselves, eventually. Liam muttered under his breath, frowning. I, I never thought I'd be this aware, or powerless. Awareness is responsibility, I said. Power is silent. You can regain control by shouting, by anger. You only regain it by understanding consequences, and you your learning. He sank into a chair, rain still tapping lightly against the window behind him. Reflection, slow acceptance. I could see it in the subtle slump of his shoulders, the tension in his hands. He started again, voice shaking slightly. I still pay whatever you ask. Rent, rules, boundaries. I still respect them. I nodded, eyes steady. You will, and not just with money, Liam. With acknowledgement, with actions that reflect understanding, that SEP's the currency now. Not fear, not manipulation. Accountability. Jenna leaned against the counter. I think this is the first time anyone spits held him accountable without theatrics, without cruelty. It spits almost elegant. I let a soft exhale escape. Elegance isn't set my goal. Stability is. Power is a quiet thing, like water shaping stone over time. No fanfare, no spectacle, just steady, unyielding, inevitable. Liam's eyes flicked to me, a mixture of shame, recognition, and cautious respect. Every word, every subtle nod, reinforcing the lesson. I caught myself thinking briefly, had I gone too far? Every calculation, every step of revenge, had it been necessary? But the answer was always the same. Each choice reinforced my autonomy, my life, my boundaries. And he understood now. Silently, steadily he paid. Not just with money, but with acknowledgement, with cautious respect. The shadows of the past lingered, yes, but they no longer held power over me. The storm had passed. The rain had cleansed. The lesson had been taught. I realized then, quiet control, patient vigilance, letting others reveal their weaknesses. It was far more satisfying than public humiliation, far more enduring, far more mine. Liam would never forget, and I would never falter. Victory finally was silent, absolute, and in that silence I found peace. The rain fell gently, not the harsh, judgmental rain of that night, not the storm that left me shivering, broken, abandoned. This was light, almost teasing, brushing my face, dripping into my hair. I closed my eyes and let it hit me, felt it on my skin, on my soul. No fear, no sorrow, only peace. Sam passed by on the street, smiling. You stir calm, he said, tilting his head. Finally? I laughed softly. Finally, I whispered, calm after years of storms. He looked at me, studying. You Stev changed. Not just stronger, different. Learned, I said, voice low, almost a murmur to the drizzle. About trust, about boundaries, about myself, about people who matter, and those who don't. A passerby splashed through a puddle nearby, and I didn't flinch. Once, that would have made me tense, anticipating betrayal, danger, disappointment. Now, I smiled. Life was flowing around me, and I flowed with it. You walk lighter, Sam said. Not weighed down by fear. Fear taught me, I replied. But it didn't chain me. It sharpened me, shaped me. Now, I move through the world, aware, powerful, careful. The city blurred under the rain, lights shimmering, reflections dancing, each drop a mirror, showing me the past, and yet not binding me to it. I paused under a street lamp. Betrayal once defined me, I said softly. It haunted every step, every choice, every trust I extended. But now, I smiled faintly. It sups a lesson etched deep, not a wound, not a weakness, a reminder of survival, of growth, of resilience. I glanced at my reflection in a puddle. Strong eyes stared back, determined, flawed, but whole, hardened, yet soft where it counted. Liam? Sam asked quietly, sensing my thought. I nodded, letting the memory pass. His dependence is a quiet reminder, I said. Not anger, not revenge, just balance. The past no longer has power over me. Not him, not anyone. I choose what touches me. I choose what defines me. A light breeze carried the scent of wet pavement, new beginnings. I breathed it in deeply. I rebuilt my world, I murmured. Trust restored selectively. Love cautiously nurtured. Boundaries firm. life flowing steady under my control. Sam smiled faintly. And it feels right. Exactly right, I said. The storm is gone, Sam. The fear is gone. The humiliation gone. I survived it, outwitted it, learned from it, and I grew stronger for it. The drizzle intensified just enough to blur the edges of the street, creating a private world, intimate and safe. I let my arms stretch out, palms up, welcoming the rain. I felt it wash over me, cleansing the remnants of doubt, fear, and anger. You've truly risen, Sam said, quietly reverent. I let a laugh escape, soft and free. Risen, yes, and nothing, not betrayal, not deceit, not abandonment, can ever leave me powerless again. The rain, it sups no longer a threat. It sups renewal. It sups freedom. I walked on, letting each step solidify my resolve. Every puddle mirrored my reflection back to me. A confirmation. I was present, whole, in charge. Power is instead always loud, I said, more to myself than Sam. Sometimes it steps quiet. Sometimes it steps unseen. Sometimes it steps walking through life while storms fall around you, and you keep moving. The city moved with me, and I moved with it. People passing, cars splashing, lights flickering, life continuing, and I, standing in the rain, finally unshaken. I whispered into the drizzle, a soft vow to myself. I survived. I reclaimed. I grew. I am unstoppable. I am free. And in that gentle rain, I finally believed it. The storm had ended. The past had no hold. The lessons remained, yes, but only to guide me, not to hurt me. I stepped forward into the light, letting the drizzle soak me fully, and smiled. Rain washed, reborn, whole, but the world was mine, and I was unstoppable.